I wake up in a velvet childhood bed that still smells of my grandmother's rose water, the one she carried from Riga before the wall fell. And I think, today I will visit the Universidade Federal Fluminense, because the brochure promised gilded arches, whispering libraries, soft lawns where I might read Sylvia Plath without anyone asking for my family bank codes. I put on my mother's pearls, the creamy ones that once glowed against her collarbones in Vilnius opera light. And I ride the early bus so I can greet the sunrise on campus like a normal, hopeful student who still believes knowledge is a kindness. The bus door folds open with a cough of black exhaust that tastes of burnt coins. I step down. The first thing I see is the entrance gate, or what is left of it. Twisted iron teeth biting nothing, graffiti screaming words I will not repeat because my mouth is too delicate, and a security booth empty like a skull after the soul has gone. Already my stomach feels sick, but I tell myself, little dove, maybe the inside is gentler. Inside is not gentler. The walkway slabs are cracked like dropped porcelain. Every third stone is missing, so my heel sinks into mud the color of dried blood. The mud sucks with a greedy sound, as if the earth itself wants to swallow my patent shoes, the same shoes Papa bought me when I passed high school with every mark in the top 1%. I bend to save one shoe and the mud kisses my silk stocking, leaving a birthmark of filth. This is how disrespect begins. One wet step, one ruined thread, one tremor of doubt that maybe I do not belong here. I look for a map, a sign, any pointing finger. There is none. Only a sheet of corrugated metal leaning against a wall, its surface pocked with rust holes shaped like bullet wounds. Through one hole, I see a corridor that smells of old urine and chlorine. The corridor is supposed to lead to the registrar, the magical room where I am meant to become an official scholar. The smell is so sharp it stings behind my eyes, the way onions do when you chop them and you are already crying about something else. I wonder who peed here, and why no one cleaned it, and I realize, if nobody cares about removing human waste from a hallway, they will not care about removing confusion from my heart. I walk deeper. The fluorescent lights above flicker like dying fireflies. One tube gives up entirely and falls, smashing 2 inches behind my left foot. Glass shatters outward in slow motion stars. If I had paused to wipe my shoe, that shard spear would have sliced my Achilles tendon, and I would have bled out onto the checkered floor designed by someone who never expected maintenance. This is safety at the university, tetanus delivered from the ceiling, absolutely free of charge. I finally find the registrar window. The clerk is a woman with eyes the color of instant coffee left overnight. I smile because Mama taught me to kill rudeness with kindness. The clerk does not smile back. She pushes a form toward me through a slit that looks like a guillotine for paper. I ask, could you please tell me which line to tick for literature major? She answers by picking up a personal phone and scrolling TikTok videos of laughing cats. The volume is loud enough that I can hear every meow. Each meow is a small mockery. I stand there for 11 minutes because I count them, the way insomniacs count heartbeats. When I clear my throat a second time, she tears the form from my fingers, stamps it crooked, and flings it back without looking. The stamp ink is so wet it bleeds across my name, making the letters bleed together like mascara after you have been dumped by text message. This is how small humiliations snowball. First you lose minutes, then you lose dignity, then you lose the belief that your questions deserve answers. I follow the signs to the library, because books have always been my sanctuary, ever since I read Anne Frank by flashlight under Soviet blankets and learned that pages can shield.
You from Tanks, the library doors are chained. Not metaphorical, a literal rusted chain, padlocked the size of my fist, the metal so old it weeps orange tears. A printed notice says closed for indefinite renovation, but the paper is sun-bleached and wrinkled like it has been there since the invention of sadness. Through the grimy glass I see towers of books toppled sideways, covers warped by rain that drips from a ceiling cavity shaped like my home country. One book lies open, its pages flapping like a dying bird trying to escape. 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 Escape.
Businesses near Universidade Federal Fluminense feel like they were designed to test how much disappointment a human heart can hold before it quietly deflates. I came expecting the usual student town energy, cheap coffee that tastes like hope, bookshops that smell of yellowed pages and revolution. Instead, I walked into a slow-motion surrender elevators that give up halfway, waiters who forget you exist, food that arrives ashamed of itself, and lighting so gloomy even the cockroaches need flashlights. If you are on a tight budget, bring a seatbelt for your wallet because every cash register here has a black belt in surprise charges. Let us start where every hungry student hopes to find mercy: the restaurants. Restaurants near the campus are like bad relationships that flirt with greatness, then ghost you at the main course. Take Espedo CIA, a grill house that once knew how to love meat and now only remembers how to overcharge it. People wait 40 minutes for a gourmet sandwich that shows up as a soggy roll floating in mystery sauce, the beef cubes tasting as if they were cut last semester and stored in someone's backpack. One woman counted 52 beers on her tab, yet the bill claimed 57 when she asked. The staff turned the music louder, as if arithmetic were a rude guest. Another guest received a feijoada that tasted exclusively of fried pork fat, no beans, no joy, just the audio of his own soul packing its bags. The waiters perform a synchronized ignoring routine: you wave, they vanish, you cough, they discover urgent business near the blender. After 10 minutes of theatrical invisibility, one man simply stood up and left, stomach still empty, pride slightly fuller. Next come the bars that promise cold beer and warm friendships yet deliver lukewarm lager, and managers who majored in grumpiness. Cervejeria masterpiece sounds poetic, but the masterpiece is the maze of letdowns. They force you to buy a 5 Ray Ice prepaid card just to order, like a theme park where the only ride is spending. The beer list lives mostly in the imagination. Whatever you ask, the bartender answers, "Acabo," with the serenity of someone who has practiced that word since childhood. One group arrived to find the place closed for a private party, the website silent, the doors locked, their evening plans collapsing like a badly set souffle. Inside, when it is open, staff pour your bottled beer into plastic cups at closing time, tilting the bottle so aggressively it resembles a kindergarten volcano experiment. The manager, legend says, can be summoned only by complaints. Once summoned, he explains, with the enthusiasm of wet cardboard, that the customer should buy Coca-Cola at the pharmacy if the bar is out. Even the Pride Party posts disappear from their Instagram, leaving revelers to wonder whether the rainbow was merely a rumor. Quinta's bar markets itself as the home of pool tables and happy hours, yet the tables are routinely roped off so the staff can watch football on the very felt they forbid you to touch. The manager greets questions like a cat grets bath time, tail up, claws out. One visitor ordered pork ribs that arrived smelling like they had already attended someone else's funeral before he could protest. A petite cockroach sprinted across the table as if late for the wake. They also enforce a minimum consumption rule, but if your order is too cheap, they serve it with a glare so icy your beer achieves natural refrigeration. Grocery hopes rest with health food shops such as Casa do Grau, where bins of colorful spices look like treasure chests until you open one and moths fly out like confetti from a horror movie. Shoppers notice the scale keeps adding 20 or 30% extra weight, a magical multiplication that turns a 50-gram snack into a 100-gram bill. The staff smile kindly while it happens, the way a pickpocket might wish you a nice day. Even the local shopping mall, Nitre Shopping, feels trapped in a 1990s fever dream it cannot wake from. Half the stores are shuttered, neon signs dark, creating a corridor of abandoned ambitions. Only one elevator works, and it develops a crush on priority passengers, leaving everyone else to queue until their beards grow silver. The air conditioning gave up years ago. The air now has the texture of warm soup. Bathroom floors carry the abstract art of old tape rectangles, and the ceiling leaks boredom in slow drips. A food court designed for 8 vendors now hosts one lonely restaurant, tables occupied by people who appear to be rehearsing for a play called Waiting for the Bill. One reviewer simply wrote, "Knock it down," which sounds harsh.
I have been looking into crimes right around Universidade Federal Fluminense. You know, the place everyone says is safe because it is a university zone. The little money exchange kiosks near the S.O. Domingos bus hub are like shiny traps. Last month a Spanish tourist walked into one, handed over €200, and the clerk counted out reais so fast that some bills stuck together. The guy left thinking he got a fair rate, then noticed at the ice cream stand that half the stapled wad was actually one real notes dressed up with a 20 on top. He probably spent the rest of his 2 weeks eating only supermarket bread, while the kiosk just rotated another smiling clerk, and the owner kept the profit to repaint the storefront. The souvenir shops that line the lane down to the waterfront are like colorful wallets with teeth. A German girl bought a tiny jersey bearing the UFF seal. The cashier swiped her card on a portable machine, told her it failed, asked for a second swipe, and typed 40 reais while the receipt spat out 400. She signed without glasses, thinking the comma was a period. My guess is she discovered the theft when her bank app screamed overseas, froze the card, and she had to beg friends at home to wire grocery money while the store owner simply changed the company name on the machine. Even the campus cafeteria vendors are like soft-spoken pickpockets. They sell prepaid meal tickets to visitors who want cheap lunch between museum stops. 2 British guys paid 50 reais for 5 tickets, used one, then found the remaining 4 were already marked redeemed the next day. I bet they ended up eating instant noodles in the hostel kitchen, glaring at their crumpled stubs, while the cashier probably laughed with co-workers about how easy foreign math is to twist.